So yeah, I am tearing this down because it needs to be torn down. It has been up for 2 episodes too many, and I know we did build it up 2 episodes ago, so yeah, it really needed to be torn down as soon as it was built up. It was definitely not my best work, and in fact it was probably my worst work that I've ever done. So I am happy that it is gone now, and I can actually get to making this look a lot nicer, which of course I am definitely not anywhere near done doing that. I've literally just torn everything out and added these 2 staircases here. So really all that is left to do is just close off this area down here and generally make everything look a little bit nicer. But that is not going to be the plan for today. For today, we are going to be in the base, of course, like we are in pretty much every single episode. And so the plan for today is actually to build up a bunch of farms for collecting all of the ingredients we're going to need for that potion brewing array we built up there. And so when it comes to the farms we are going to need, some of these are subject to change, and I also am probably going to forget some of the farms that we need, but we need a ghast farm, we also need a blaze powder farm, and we need a spider eye farm. We also need a melon and pumpkin farm. I think that's it. Oh, and we also need a redstone and glowstone farm, but I have no idea where the nearest witch hut is. The nearest swamp biome is a mangrove swamp that is 2,000 blocks away, so I'm assuming it's probably somewhere around there, but yeah, it's not going to be very close. So we're definitely not going to do that today. And we are also definitely not going to be doing a gas tier farm today. But the blaze powder farm, I do want to try to get done today. We may run out of time, so we'll have to see about that one. But the rest of them I do want to get done today, which is the melon and pumpkin farm and the spider eye farm. And I think that's it. Now I do know that you don't need pumpkins for brewing potions, but since we're building a melon farm, I figured that we might as well just build up a pumpkin farm so that we can use pumpkins to trade with the villagers, because that is going to be very nice to have. So to start off this farm building, I think I am going to build up the spider farm. And for that, we are going to need to go down to the slime farm, which I probably didn't need to jump down here. And right now, my plan for the spider farm is to build it up over here, because there is a regular spider spawner in the floor right here, and I think it would be really cool to have some tinted glass on the floor here so that you can see into the spawning chamber where the spiders are going to spawn. So yeah, that's the plan, and now it's time to start building it up. And so to start this off, we are going to have to clear out a little area around this spawner here, and so there it is, all dug out. So now we can move on to doing the collection system, which is going to be pretty simple. And so of course this is going to require a lot more digging out and some more building. So I am going to get working on this. It's going to be honestly pretty boring stuff that you guys are probably not going to be interested in. And then I will show you guys the final results of all of this building, and I'll show you the pathway that these spiders are taking. And now that is done. So to show you guys the path that these spiders are going to be taking when they spawn in, I am going to jump down here and we will move along here. They will get caught into these 2 side channels and then pushed into the center one. And then they will move along here into a bubble elevator that will push them up here. And then they will end up getting pushed across like this and fall into the killing chamber, which is going to be right here. And then of course I'll be on the other side of this, swinging my sword and getting all of these spider eyes that I will need. So now all that is left to do is to actually build up that killing chamber, as well as a storage situation off to the side here. And then of course cover all of this in tinted glass, and probably also add a way to shut this farm on and off so that we don't have to constantly be running it. And then this guy will be done. And so now this new expansion to the base is completely done, and I did end up decorating this up because I do want to keep this episode moving along so we can get to some of the other stuff in this episode. But this farm is completely done now, and so all we have to do to turn it on is push this button, and all of the lights went out, and there are some spiders flowing down there, and they should end up here. Then we can hit them with the sword and get their spider eyes. And this can take a little while because they can still climb up the walls, but here comes one right now. And they should flow down here no problem because that is 1 block tall and the water should always push them to the end here. And then all of this should end up in the chest over here, and I did actually do a little bit of farming up just to make sure that this worked and everything. And so all we should have to do is stand here and they should continually spawn in, and they do kind of get bunched up there a little bit sometimes, and they can climb up the walls, but it works as good as I need it to, so I'm probably not going to change much of anything. But now we can move on to the next part of the episode, which is going to be building up the melon and pumpkin farm. And that is of course going to be back up in the main part of the base. And the exact location is going to be right here, right next to our bee farm. And so my plan for this is to have the melons and pumpkins on either side, and then the storage in the center, and then all of the redstone will be back behind all of that stuff. And overall, this farm is going to be pretty simple, but we do need to clear out a little area right here so that we can actually build it up. So why don't we get that taken care of right now? And now that we have this cleared out a little bit, we can start building up the farm. And so to start this off, we are going to be making a simple etho hopper clock, which is really quite simple. We just have 2 hoppers here facing into each other with a comparator looking into each one of those. And if the comparator sees something, this block will get powered, which powers this redstone and pushes out the sticky piston. And then this redstone block will go back and forth, locking one of the hoppers, and then whatever hopper is locked is the one that the items will flow into, and then it'll just keep going back and forth. And so now we need to hook this up into a monostable circuit, which will give us a short pulse from this block being pushed right here. And so before I hook this up, I should probably actually put in the pistons, and that is going to be quite simple. And there we go, everything is all hooked up now. And if this redstone block gets pushed into this slot, as you heard, all of those pistons will fire, and hopefully we can actually catch this on camera because I don't think I caught that. There, as you saw right there, the pistons all fired, and that is what is going to happen every time this redstone block gets pushed over here. And so of course all of these pistons here are going to be breaking all of the melons and pumpkins that grow over here, which there will be some dirt blocks that are going to go in right here, and inside those dirt blocks is going to be some hopper mine carts so that they can collect all of the items that land on top of them. And then there will be a row of hoppers underneath there that will be going off over to some chests that are probably going to be over there. I know I originally said that they were going to be here, but there is definitely not enough room for them, so it's probably going to end up on this wall over here. And so now it's just going to be a matter of installing all of these hoppers and the storage over there, and then also putting the melons and pumpkins planted up here as well. And that's probably going to be really boring, so I don't want to bore you guys with that, and I'll just take care of that really quick and then show you guys the final results of this farm. I've got it all done now, and I think it's looking pretty good. I do kind of maybe want to frame this window a little bit with some spruce wood and see how that looks, but I think this light gray stained glass is looking pretty good. I did try it with some regular stained glass as well as tinted glass, which I did... Okay, that was loud. Anyway, I originally had this as tinted glass, and I didn't really like it. It looked pretty bad, and so I just wanted to swap that out, and I think it looks much better as this light gray stained glass, so hopefully you guys agree with that as well. And then of course we have the storage array off to the side here, which I think this is better than having it in the center. I do kind of wish that this whole thing though was centered a little bit better on this wall. There's a little bit of extra space over here, so moving it over a block may have been a little bit better than where it's at right now. So that is kind of bothering me a little bit, but yeah, I'm not really feeling like moving it over a block. That would just be way too much work. So I'm just gonna leave it like this. And I did actually back there add a space for some expansion in the future, so we can add 4 extra modules in the future if we need to, with 2 on the bottom and 2 on the top like there are here. And I honestly might make those expansion modules pumpkins only, because we do get quite a few melons, and really all I'm going to be using these melons for are the potions. And the pumpkins are a little bit more useful to me because I can use those for trading with the villagers. Plus you don't get as many pumpkins as you do melons. At least the melon slices anyway. Anyway, unfortunately, that is going to be it for this episode, as I don't have enough time to do the blaze farm. I really wish I did, but there were a few surprises that came up in the last 2 weeks. Both good and bad surprises. The bad one being Premiere Pro crashing like every 2 minutes while I was trying to edit this episode. And I know this episode's probably going to be a little bit shorter of an episode because I did kind of rush through these a little bit. Had I known that those surprises were going to happen, I probably would have planned this out a little bit better and spent a little bit more time with you guys on both of the farms we built up today. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode either way, and if you did, then make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and all of that good stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.